Good afternoon, everyone. It is, what is today? It's December 11th here, fourth period for English 7C Iizuka campus at KIT. Let's take a look at what we're going to be doing. Let's see. Here's class number 9, 12, 11. I also wanted to show you the results of your test from last week. So if you look at this closely, basically, you did fairly well. Let's see that. That's three people got 85% on that. Seven people took the test, and it ranged all the way from 65% to, well, one person may have gotten as much as 100%, between 95 and 100%. This is something that only I can see here as a teacher, but it's up on the screen in any case. So you didn't do too badly. Nobody completely failed, but a few people didn't do as well as they probably could have. But most of you got a good solid B right here, okay, between 80 and 85%. And three people did very, very well, between 85 and 90, 90, 95, 95 and 100%. And that's a pretty good distribution of grades, actually, I think. Okay, let's take a look at what we're doing this week. I'll put this explanation up as soon as classes are over today. We're going to be doing a little bit of shadow talking here with this article from Goldfish 365. It's called Creativity. It's a conversation between my friend Michael Berg and I. We're both Canadians, and if you can, maybe you can hear how two Canadian people speak to each other when we're not actually being English teachers. Okay. Now let's get back over to here. So we'll be looking at that. You have a vocabulary quiz based on units number 7 and 8. These vocabulary quizzes are always about the Quizlets that we did for the textbook. There are also Quizlets, though, for the vocabulary that you'll encounter in the articles that I give you from Goldfish 365. So if you have time, it doesn't hurt you. It's good for you to actually go over all of this stuff for Quizlet. But the quizzes themselves are always about the Quizlet that we did for the vocabulary. Okay? And for the vocabulary quiz, that will be due December 22nd, which is a Sunday at 11 p.m. And you have a reflection that's due on a concept of liaisons. Now, liaisons is something that we'll be doing more next week. Okay, next week we're going to be using this material to learn about something called liaisons. But until next week, I want you to know a bit more about it. So I gave you this reflection on how when we talk in English, we don't talk the way you probably hear us when we're talking on a CD or a TOEIC test. On a TOEIC test, we can sound like we speak like this. And that's how you probably hear us when you're listening to a TOEIC CD or a TOEIC practice test. But we don't talk that way at all. As a matter of fact, if you listen carefully to that article on creativity, we sound very different when you're talking to us in a classroom, when we're talking to you, even in the corridors and such. But when we're talking to each other as native speakers, we sound very different. And this will give you a little bit of information about why we sound different. Then next week, when we do these liaisons, this assignment on liaisons, then you'll probably be able to understand more about that. But we'll go very slowly. First, the material that we'll use for liaisons, we're going to do some shadow talking. Well, first we're going to read it, then we'll shadow talk it. Then next week, we'll do that assignment on liaisons. Okay. Now, one thing I should remind you of is December. Okay, we only have two classes. Okay, December 11th, and then after December 11th, we have December 18th. Only two classes in December because we're supposed to have another class on December 25th, but that's Christmas Day, and I've made that an on-demand class. So you don't have to come to class. You actually, if you come to this class, I won't be here because it's going to be an on-demand class. You don't have to come to the classroom to do it. What I'll do is I'll make a few extra assignments on the on-demand class. I'll explain it all on December 18th. And December 25th, we will not have a classroom. We will not have a class in the classroom. Everything will be on demand. So in December, it will only be this week, December 11th, and next week, December 18th. And December 25th, no class. And then we don't come back until January 8th. Okay, but take note of the fact that this will be an on-demand class for me here on December 25th. Okay. If you don't have any questions at this point, well, then let's get right down to work. If you have any questions, remember you can always contact me at jdmcruz@gmail.com and ask me any of your questions there. And have a good class today, everybody. Thanks.